Happy Sabbath. Okay. I've prepared a little presentation for you. It's about a little bit of our testimony. Obviously, I don't have enough time to give the full testimony. Will be here till midnight, but I just got snippets of it which are relevant to mission. So how can I relate mission to the testimony, to our testimony? So I had to go through, I had two events mainly in our testimony, which I'm going to focus about. So the first verse which I'd like to bring to you is Hebrews 13, verse 1 till 2, says, keep on loving one another as brothers and sisters. Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for by so doing some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it. Well, this verse for us was very important for me and my husband because we actually did have in our house a messenger of truth. We can say an angel, which we left behind in Malta, obviously. This person had come from England, and he always told me he didn't know why he was sent to Malta out of all places in the world. And he said the day he met me, he knew why he had come to Malta. The Lord had revealed to him that we needed prayer, that I needed prayer, and my husband needed prayer, and he discovered then that actually, we were in a bad spot in our marriage, and he started praying for us, not even knowing us. But eventually, because we were hospitable to this person, we opened our home to him because he always brought this peace that we didn't have. He brought this joy that we didn't have. And slowly, he started to reveal the word to us, which was new to us because we were not brought up in a church. We knew about Jesus, but we didn't know him at all. And we didn't have a Bible, we didn't read the Bible. After 30 years, it was our first experience opening a Bible. And this person started showing me the Bible, and me and my husband, he loved having long conversations with us in our kitchen, and we had never enough. We wanted him to come again and come again, because he just brought this peace which we needed so much. Eventually, the Lord touched my heart and touched Gabe's heart. We both became Christians through the ministry of this angel called Steve. And I remember me and Steve, we were then evangelizing to people on the island. And it's all started because we were ready to open our home to him. And this beautiful friendship started, and we got salvation through him. So this verse was very important for me because we did host an angel without us knowing. I'm not talking about angels with wings. I'm only talking about messengers. Blessed are the feet of those who bring good news. So his feet were blessed, and when he entered our house, our marriage changed, was saved, and here we are today after 17 years, I'm not sure. So, and also, like another verse which encourages hospitality is Abraham, when he didn't even know the people who were coming to his tent, yet he showed hospitality to them. Well, years passed, and we came to Australia, and I'll go to this one. We came to Australia, so this is June 2013, so Taya was 4, Ben was 2, Jake is still in my tummy, and that's Gabriel many years ago, and and here we are in Australia. 2 weeks before we came to Australia, we actually came across the Adventist teachings, quite surprisingly, because we were Christians, but we were Pentecostals back then. And we started, so from Catholic to Pentecostals, and then we started praying for more truth, because we could see that some things were not matching. They were not squaring up with the Bible, and I wasn't at peace. So I started to pray. We started to pray for more truth. If there's more truth, give it to us. Lord, show it to us. And promptly, quite promptly, the Lord gave me kind of things to think about, but Steve could not answer the questions I had, and neither did the pastor. The pastor actually confused me even more, the Pentecostal pastor I'm talking about. And I said, like, there must be more truth, and I need it. Lord, give it to me. And the Lord Steve told me, I'm doing Bible studies with someone who has very interesting insights in the Bible. He said, he might have the answers to your questions. My questions were, like, because I was Pentecostal, why is the rapture secret if the Bible never mentions secret? It says it's loud. Why should I come back to reclaim a body which is dead? If I'm in heaven, it was so confusing, so confusing. And he said, this person might have the answers you're seeking for. So we invited this other angel in our house, again, being hospitable, opening our doors. This is back in Malta. And we had meals together, and this person was there for, I think, 6 hours, crash course, and we start at 7 at night, put the kids to bed, start at 7 and finish at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we don't want him to go, and he says, I need to sleep. I said, like, I know, but I don't want you to go. So he just gave us, he actually did the great controversy without us knowing, but he went through 6 hours, 6 hours, 6 hours, like we never had enough. And well, so we left Malta knowing about the Sabbath, but not knowing where we're going. And before we left, we told Alan, the second person in our story, I told Alan, where do we go for church? He said, well, when you land in Australia, he said, go to any Seventh-day Adventist church, which is closest to you. I said, what was that? Can you repeat it? I need to write it down. Seventh what? There's no Seventh-day Adventist churches in Malta except one little community, unfortunately. So we come here in Brisbane, we land in Brisbane with our kids and everything, and we research Seventh-day Adventist Church, and Mount Gravatt comes up closest to us because we were in Tarragindi. So we go to Mount Gravatt, and imagine this, with 2 children that age, going inside a church you've never been, you know absolutely nobody, and you're a bit intimidated. It was raining, we were a bit wet, the kids were uncomfortable, they don't know where they are, where are we going, you know, so many changes in little time, we've just migrated. Anyway, we come into this church and we have no idea what's happening and where we're going. So I get, this lady comes at the door, and she says, oh, welcome, happy Sabbath. I said, like, happy Sabbath? And she says, like, are you new here? Where are you visiting from? I said, like, from nowhere, we're new. She said, new to Mount Gravatt? I said, no, we're new. She said, you're new. I said, like, we've never been in an Adventist church. She was just like, whoa, okay. So she just said, oh, wait here. I'll go and get the pastor. She got the pastor, the wife, the kids of the pastor. I was just like, whoa, what's happening? And in no time in that day, we made friends with the pastor, with his wife, with the kids, which happened to be the same age as my daughter. So those two just made friends and left. And that's what we wanted. So, and that same lady told me, oh, today, she said, after church, you come with us to my house for lunch. I said, like, I have 2 little children. She said, I know. She said, my daughter is coming up with her children, we'll have a great time, okay? So I'm not a person to say no, so we accepted the kind invitation, and because we feel that's what you should do when you're invited. And we went, and we had the greatest of the afternoon, and we made friends. Now, like, we came to Australia, we have no family here. We had nobody here, we knew no one. we had nothing except a place where to stay for a few months until we settled down, thanks to the lady in Malta who took care of us. But we have no family, we had no friends, we knew no one. So we came here in need, not money need, but we needed other things. And the things we needed were quite important for us and quite fundamental for us not to lose heart and go back. So we were not judged because we're from another country by this lady. She loved us because she herself as well was a migrant. And we were shown kindness, which we didn't expect, because we come from another, in the evangelical church, we also were shown lots of love, but it was overwhelming, like, wow, first time in a church, you're invited to somebody's house. And we are still friends with those people up to today. So our needs contribute to the needs of the saints and seek to show hospitality. Well, our needs were acceptance. We needed to feel accepted in a new church because we had just been rejected by our evangelical church, which they all turned their backs on us as soon as we mentioned Adventism to them. The pastor told them to nobody contact us. So all our Pentecostal church, which were our only friends back then, turned their back on us. No one contacted us. No one said, did you arrive safely in Australia? I send email, nobody answers. And they were my only family because my own blood family rejected me because I became a Christian. Sorry. So we suffered rejection upon rejection because we chose the Lord. But it's fine, because he said, perseverance makes you strong, and the Lord will give you more family than what you have. But at that time, we had none. So after, even at the airport, none of my family came to the airport, and none of our church family came to the airport. So it was just us and Gabe's family who came. And that hurts. You're leaving, you're migrating. But the Lord kept me strong. And I think I was stronger in the Lord back then because he was the only thing I could hold on to. The only thing I could the only truth I could hold on to. And security. And he kept telling me, go forward, just keep going, keep going. And so our need back then was acceptance. We needed to feel accepted and welcome somewhere, that we belong somewhere. Because, in meantime, when we landed in Australia, we went to another evangelical church because they were our host. And as soon as we mentioned that we're going Sabbath as well, guess what? Another rejection. So we got used to it then. Like, it's all right. Someone else will turn their back on us, but it's fine. We needed friends for the kids because we were scared, because people kept oh, okay, you're part of that. People will reject you. The kids ended up who are our friends now? Especially my daughter, who was 4, then I could realize, who are my friends? So I said, it was a bit awkward. We needed advice because we were in a new country. We didn't know how to go around in Australia. We didn't want to do mistakes. We were about to buy a house. We needed advice of reliable people who have been here all their life and know what to look for. So those were our needs, and they were met because, sorry, I had to go. As from Acts 28, verse 2, actually this is a bit ironic because this is my own country. The native people, which are the Maltese, showed Paul unusual kindness, for they kindled a fire and welcomed them all because it had begun to rain and was cold. So we were shown kindness and welcomed by this family in Mangravat, and that's why we stayed, actually. That's what brought us back to the church. Like, it was a sense of security. We're going back to somewhere where we know people and we are welcomed. We were even welcomed from the front that day. Like, this is so embarrassing. One cravat is quite large, like quite big. So, but anyway, we felt welcomed and loved. Many key people in the church gave us a lot of love. Grech's brother and Robin, they were so loving, and we just felt it was home, finally. So other verses in the Bible which show how important hospitality is, how it can keep a person in the church or scare them away, is when Elisha went to the Shunem country, and the woman there who lived there urged him to eat. So what did she do? She opened her house again and offered him food. Again, because over a meal you get to talk, and people talk and start opening up, while at church we don't have that time. You just say hello, goodbye, and then while you're talking someone else comes and your conversation is disrupted. You know how it goes. So you don't have time to open up and get to know a person. But when you invite someone, you have all the time to open up, hear their testimony, give your testimony, share what God has done in each other's lives. Maybe that person just needs to hear that one testimony at that time in their life to say like, oh, God does exist and he does still do things for people. If it wasn't for that conversation I started off with Steve, I wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't even be together anymore. That conversation started it all, and guess what? He started with prayer. I still remember the restaurant where we were, and he started with prayer, and I was like, oh, people are looking. And because when you're not a Christian, you are aware of all these things. And it's a conversation which leads to friendship, which then leads to people wanting to stay or come where you go. And so, therefore, as we have opportunity, and we need to make opportunity, we need to make them happen many times, most of the times, let us do good to all, especially to those who are of the household of faith, who are in the church or coming in the church. We need to show love, because, as I said, many of us, some of us here, like us, we have no blood family here. The only family we have is the church. So if we don't have church family, we'll be lonely, we'll end up going back, and that's what people were telling my mom, oh, they'll come back. They'll come back. Give it 2 years, they'll come back. It's been 12 years now. I think she lost heart. I'm sorry, Mom. It's just that when you have friends here, which I have friends which are even closer than my family, you lack nothing. And that's what we need to show to people who the Lord has brought in our church. We need to show hospitality, as that lady has shown to me. It wasn't for her. We wouldn't be here. So thank you, Lord, for this lady, and may God bless you. I don't know, I don't have any more. I don't know if it's too early, Jay? No? Good enough? Okay. Thank you very much for hearing, and I hope I didn't bore you.
Thank you, Lorraine, and I can actually testify, and they continue to do. Gabriel and Lorraine continue to invite people to their homes. So basically what worked for them, they're actually doing to others. You know, I don't know if any of you had the opportunity to have a pizza night at their place. It's great, let me tell you. Yeah, they have a list. They're going through the list. Yeah, so I just wanted to just say, I think it is important that us as the church family, we need to show that hospitality, because that's what we're here for. So I would like to call on our deacons, please, to come forward and collect the offering. Sabbath school offering.